to another episode of Rimshots with Sean. We have actually with us tonight one of our more popular people when we did Barstools way back when, Monsieur Ryan Boudreau. Ryan, thanks for doing this. We're actually at our, why don't you tell us where we're at?
Yeah, we're actually at my cousin Ryan Boudreau's house. So he's over at, what is this place? Tintalen?
Timberley, something like that.
Timberley. So yeah, we're here just chilling out. Me and Weldon were working on a few things for a French project coming up. So yeah, he has a beautiful house here, nice property. It's kind of a countryside, reminds me of Cape Breton.
Well, yeah, when I walked in, it was like I made the comment in our text that in French, Boudreau's like Smith in English, right? Yeah. I didn't realize there was a relative sort of thing, so which is really neat because I walk in and I felt like I was in Wayne and Teresa's house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I could close my eyes and go into the fridge and get something. But so anyway, I thought we're doing this little offshoot of Barstool. So just for anybody that doesn't know, Ryan and I both play in the Frequency, bang on deadly rhythm section. Anybody comes and checks us out, what we're talking about. But what I haven't chatted with you much. I mean, the last show that we did was at Dolan's a month and a half ago. What have you been up to since?
You know what? Just the last month or so, I've been working on a few different projects. One project is with Weldon. Another project is just kind of getting together some instrumental tracks that I've been wanting to work on. I've always wanted to make an instrumental project.
Okay.
Just kind of like, funkier kind of stuff.
Nice.
Sometimes when I'm driving on the highway, I just like listening to instrumental music, kind of like funkier stuff, even from the 70s or 80s. So I've kind of, it inspired me to kind of, get some things together, get some tracks together, and kind of, maybe record something in the near future. So, in some ways, like the time off actually worked out to kind of, just work on original material. So, but yeah, it has been about a month since we gigged together. So, we usually went from like 3 shows a week, 4 shows a week.
Well, to put it in perspective, a lot of people don't realize. I mean, like there was 1 year that the Frequency did close to 80 shows in a year.
Oh, yeah.
Forget about the money, but I mean, it's a lot of work, and you go from, playing a lot to not playing at all. It's not fun.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the good thing, the blessing out of it is that it gives us time to kind of work on more original stuff and kind of take a breather. But yeah, like when we went from playing like 3 times a week to not playing in a month, seems like we haven't played in forever, but it's only been 4 weeks. But it's it seems longer than what it is.
Well, this is it. And I remember last year. So I mean, we had booked a show in December at Monty's, and it was sold out. And at that time, we were allowed to have 150 people. So when they opened back up, you're only allowed to have 100 people. So we had to actually do 2 shows, which we did in March.
Oh yeah.
The thing that always cracks me up is every time we get together, it doesn't matter how little we played, the second we all get in a room, it sounds like we've been playing for years.
Which is great because one of the things that we've done on the time off from playing is Kyle called us in to do a few studio tracks with Charles Austin, and right away it kind of sounded good. Like the first take, it sounded good. So I was like, okay, we're not that rusty yet, so that's good.
Well, what I liked is, one of the tunes I think was like we took the first of 3 takes. Yeah. The tune that we did for Michelle, I think it was the second of 4 takes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, we sat down. It was just literally effortless. It was a lot of fun,
which is awesome. So yeah, it's going to be good. We had some Frequency gigs that we had to postpone in the earlier part of the year, like January, February, but. I'm sure in a few weeks, hopefully, knock on wood, things will be back to normal, and then we'll be rocking out again together on
stage. It's so funny because I get a text from Barry. He's like, "Yeah, the government's doing it again, so I guess I got to get Sam Fear and somebody else to play because I can't have bands even Savage." But anyway, and who knows what the heck they're doing?
Also, Dolan's probably had to close down again for the time being.
They shut everything down to the 31st of January. So I mean. Now, I actually heard, and if some of our friends in New Brunswick can corroborate this with me or not, but I heard some of the bars and restaurants said, the heck with you guys, we're open, and they did a Wildcat. And there may or may not have been fines handed out, but
okay.
So I think that's where it's going to start going if they don't start smartening up here.
Yeah, well, I mean, the good thing about where we're at now is at the beginning of the pandemic, they always predicted, oh, this is going to take about 2 years, because remember the flu of 1918? Well, we don't remember the flu of 1918, but I remember like my grandmother talking about it, and she was alive, and my mom, I think my mom lost her grandmother in the flu of 1918, so back then it took them about 2 years to eradicate it completely, so when COVID started, they said, okay, well, this is going to be a 2-year thing. And it took about, as you remember, it took about 7 to 10 months just to come up with a vaccine and then to start rolling out the vaccines to the whole population. So now, coming in March, I think it's a 2-year mark, right? So
it is, yeah.
So hopefully by March, I mean, most people, like, I've got double vax, and I just got my boost yesterday, so my arm's kind of sore today. But, you know, if everyone does their part and most of the people are vaccinated now, I assume by March and stuff that, you know, It'll go back to what it was before. Where
I read a study. I read a study that apparently the one thing that COVID can't get over the wall on is weed. So anyway,
I heard it has medical benefits.
There's all kinds of good stuff with weed, right? Yes. Not a weed partaker, but so we're gonna our next segment we're gonna talk about some gear and stuff, and as you know, we're gonna have Weldon and his daughter here. Some great. He was telling us there that that fiddle he got in Naboo, lovely picture of his mom. We're gonna get him and his daughter on. They're probably gonna do a tune for us too, which is great. Before we go to the next segment and talk about gear, I want to tell a funny story, and I know you'll know it. Where we were playing at St. John, and you brought the Rickenbacker.
Oh yeah, yes, that's right.
So Ryan gets this beautiful Rickenbacker, and if anybody knows that bass, they're very MIDI sounding, right? So it's like you just can't plug it in and expect it to. It's got a distinctive sound. So Kyle was doing sound, and he was trying to figure out. How to get the mid out and get more lows and more highs, and anyway, he started calling Ryan. What was it? Orville Rickenbacker. So that bass was gone the following Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. I was like, I'm gonna get a Rickenbacker and I'm just gonna explore, and I'm a fan of Geddy Lee and stuff, and it has its place and everything. But for me, I was always an old Fender guy where you can just plug in and it sounds bassy and really prevalent in the mix right away. So yeah, when I plugged in the Rickenbacker and you're playing Route 5th country stuff, I wasn't getting the sound. At one point I just looked at Colin, we just started laughing for I think he couldn't sing for the rest of the song. We just started laughing so much.
Well, and I always laugh every time Ryan gets a new bass, he comes in and it's just like, that looks like the one that you already have, man. It's like, and I don't know if that's what you have here.
It is basically.
And one's a 65 and one's a 63, is that right?
Yeah, it's like a 69, and one's a combination of the 62 and 68 P bass. But and they both have a long history of where it came from. I kind of researched it before I bought it, but I've been using the 69 P bass particularly. I've used it for about 16 years now.
Nice.
And it's seen hundreds of shows and recording sessions, and I think that's the one I brought in when we did the recording.
Yeah. I mean, it always. And a shout out to our buddy Peter James. He had a really funny post the other day. I don't know if you saw it. He goes, if you're gonna do product reviews at the bass, he goes, A, don't play like the guy in Primus, or don't try to play like the guy in Primus, and don't use a P bass.
It's funny because and Peter's an awesome guy, but he loves to troll people that use just P basses, because I think he's a 5-string bass guy. Whereas I'm in the opposite. I'm a P bass guy, and I don't. 5 strings have its place, but there's nothing that beats a P to me. So
well, there you go.
Sorry,
nothing
Peter.
that beats a P to me. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this segment up, but we're gonna come back. Thanks for tuning in, folks, and you're gonna want to tune into the next segment. Ryan's gonna bust open some of his vintage, and they are vintage. Some of them are older than me, and that's pretty darn old. So we're excited about that. So thanks a lot, Ryan. We'll get you on the next one.
Thank you.